How's it going, my fellow collectors? It's me again. I'm back. Welcome back to everyone to my channel. This is gonna be a brand new review, guys. I just received this figure in the mail today, and it is the Captain America Civil War Iron Man Mark 46 diecast. And I don't know if you guys can read that. It is the MMS353 D16. That means the D16 stands for diecast, so it's the diecast model 16. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into the review. And as you guys know, if you've seen my previous reviews, I normally start off with the source information. So, let's talk about the movie. I did enjoy it. It was very good. I did like it better than all of the rest of the Avengers movies. I thought it was better than Captain America Winter Soldier. But not by much, because Captain America Winter Soldier was among my favorites in the Marvel Universe. The continuation of the story, I do like where it's going. They're staying pretty close to the story of the comic books. I do enjoy that. Anytime a movie is true to the comic books, if it is based off of a comic book, that is a plus for me. The big showdown between superheroes, I like that. I like that a lot. And it is true to the comic book in the Secret Wars. They do have a civil war between Captain America and Iron Man. And the big reveal of... this is a spoiler to anyone who hasn't seen Civil War, so you guys might want to skip this part. The part where they reveal that Winter Soldier is the killer of Tony Stark's parents was a big shock, to me at least. And it did prove for some tension, more tension between Winter Soldier, Captain America, and Tony Stark. Not to mention that it also led to a really awesome fight between them. They nearly killed each other, if you guys have seen the movie. But yeah, I am definitely looking forward to the continuation of the story. The next being, at least with all of them together, I believe it's going to be Infinity Wars. Right after they get the single hero movies out of the way. So that's going to be pretty cool. But I also have to mention that I know a lot of you guys are going to hate me, but I am for Team Iron Man. I've always liked Iron Man better than Captain America. I just thought that he's got more character to him, and Captain America is just too much of a Boy Scout. And by the book and all that. But if I were to picture myself as a superhero with powers, I probably would be a straight arrow just like Captain America, so it is a bit hypocritical of me to go for Iron Man instead of Captain. But it is what it is. Not to mention that I think Iron Man has more style with his armor, all of his armors, his genius intellect. That's why I'm partial to Iron Man. But yeah, the source information, I'm gonna go ahead and give that 10 out of 10, because I do think that it is the best Marvel Universe movie out to date, at least until the Spider-Man Homecoming movie comes out. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, currently at the publication of this video, Civil War is the best Marvel movie so far. Not counting the X-Men movies, because those are 20th Century Fox. I'm just focusing on the Marvel Studios movies. But yeah, stick with me guys, and we'll roll on with the next category. Alright, so the next category is packaging. And it is in theme with the rest of the Civil War characters from the movie. All of the characters from the Civil War movie have this type of box where it's split down the middle, where the white meets the rest of the artistry on the box. There is a split. See, if I raise it like that, you can see it, and that's how you open the box. All of the boxes from based off of this movie are like that. So they all have an image that wraps around the entire box on the top portion. So this one has the picture of Iron Man in the front, of course. And then off to the left you can see the War Machine Mark III. And then if you looked on the left of the box, you get a little symbol of Iron Man's arc reactor from the Mark 46 right there in red. And then you see the arm of Iron Man right there. And then you see Black Panther to his right. And if you look on the back of the box, you get the credits of everyone who worked on the figure. It says Iron Man Mark 46, MMS353, D16 1/6 scale collectible figure. And those are all the people who worked on the figure. And then on the bottom it says, "United we stand, divided we fall," falling in theme with the movie. And then it says Iron Man Mark 46 right there. Team Stark. Huh, I never noticed that before. It says Team Stark. That's funny. And then you get the logos. The Marvel logo. And a couple of other ones I don't recognize. And then the Hot Toys logo. The Secret Base logo. And I believe that is the Toy Hunters logo. And then you get the warning and barcode and all the other stuff that nobody really reads. Choking hazards and such. And then you get another symbol of the arc reactor there. And as we continue looking around, oh, before I forget, the you can see some more characters in the background. There's Vision on the top right of the box, and there's Black Widow's arm, so you can see who's gonna wrap around the other side, the right hand side, and it's Black Widow. And then it says Iron Man Mark 46 again, MMS353 D16 16 scale collectible figure. And then when you open it, or sorry, before I forget, on the bottom it has nothing. On the top it says Marvel Captain America Civil War. So when we open the box, let's see if I can do it one-handed. Here we go. You get the styrofoam inlay, and it says Mark 46 engraved on it. So, and that is that for the packaging. It comes with a lot. So when I received this in the mail, it said that it was at 8 pounds, and I believe it because all the previous Hot Toys that I've owned before this one, I've never had it so heavy. And that's saying a lot. So I believe it when it says 8 pounds. But yeah, to score up the packaging, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10, because I mean, it's pretty basic, at least for the Civil War figures. They all have the same basic design. The only difference is some of the artwork that wraps around the top of the box. So yeah, the packaging is a 6 out of 10. Alright, stick with me guys and we'll continue on with the rest of the review. Alright, so now we've reached the category of likeness. And man, whew, I am blown away. Because everyone who's a Hot Toys collector knows that for a lot of figures, especially Iron Man figures, if they say that they're going to release an extra head sculpt depicting the actor, there's a lot of times where they don't show the face in the early release photos of the figure. So once I saw the YouTube video start popping up about reviews on this figure, and I saw the actual head sculpt of Robert Downey, I was blown away by how accurate it looks. I have to say that it is the most accurate to date of Robert Downey Jr., of what he looks like. None of the other Iron Man figures has come close to this head sculpt. I'll even go that far by saying that. That does say a lot, though, you know. But yeah, you know, like the wrinkles, even the black eye that he has right there. It's all really good. me show you guys a image of the back, since we haven't seen much of the back of this figure. If he'll even stand up. But yeah, he's even got even more lights on the back of him. But yeah, the head sculpt is one of the main reasons why I got this figure. I was just so impressed by it. So, to talk you guys through the pose, I got him using the arm missile that he uses to trap the Winter Soldier so he doesn't escape. Really cool scene, by the way. I did try to recreate that, you know, aiming the missile upward toward the sky. But the problem is that with the Robert Downey head sculpt, you cannot bend the head too far backward. He doesn't look up toward the sky at all. It's kind of a bummer, but nothing major. I'm not gonna mark it down a point for that, because everything else overshadows that by a mile. So as for the likeness, in this category, I am going to have to give it a perfect 10 out of 10. I mean, that's Robert Downey Jr. through and through. Alright guys, stick with me and we'll roll on to the next category. So rolling on to the articulation. But before I do, I wanted to give you guys a closer look at the LEDs, which is a lot of them. This guy looks like a freaking Christmas tree. But you know, you got all of those on the torso area. You got the one on the repulsor, or the repulsor blast, pretty much on the palm of his hand. And then you got another one on the back of his hand. Several on his arm. 2 at least that I can see. And he's got another one on his shoulder right there. The back. Of course, the eyes. You can see the LED better over here on the back of the shoulder there. And then he's got several running along his legs. So there's that. And yeah. And then, as you can see, I got him posed up holding the Captain America helmet. Kind of went for that scouting ahead pose toward the end of the movie when they're investigating the Hydra facility where they were doing the experiments on Winter Soldier. But yeah, the articulation. I have to say that this Iron Man figure has the best articulation to date. At least that I have seen. I haven't owned many Iron Man figures. The only ones that I have owned are the Mark IV and the Mark III die-cast, and then this one. But given that it is an Iron Man figure, most of them don't have very good mobility. But this guy, this shows how far Hot Toys has come in the advancement of their figures, because let me just explain. The head has alright movement. They haven't really improved on much in that point of view, in that respect. He has the same general movement as the rest of the Iron Man figures for the head. But once we start moving down, like on the arms, the shoulders, where the hinges, they can pop out. And once you do pop them out, they have a butterfly curl that can turn inward 30 degrees. So you can pop it in and out to get some good poses. He's got an ab crunch, just like the Mark IV Iron Man and the Mark VI Iron Man. So you can extend the ab area to make them crunch forward or backward, or you can twist and turn it. And as for the arms, in the elbow area, he can bend his elbow 160 degrees, which is very, very impressive for being an Iron Man figure. Very close to his face. Moving downward, he's got your basic Iron Man movement on the wrist area. That's one nitpick that I have with the Iron Man figures that Hot Toys produces. I so want to do a pose where he's doing the repulsor blast, just like he's doing right here, but the pose that I try to recreate is where he has his fingers slightly bent, kind of like, hold on, let me zoom out, kind of like in this kind of a pose, where he's going like this, but with the wrist has to be bent more, if that makes any sense. Kind of like what he has right here, like, you know, because this part, the back of his hand, where he's got the armor piece, you can see that that's bent. This area here. So they provide us with this general repulsor blast hand, but his fingers don't curl like I want them to. And they do give us the articulated fingers, but when you try to make a repulsor blast with those hands, it doesn't work, because the armor piece, which is on the back of his hand, does not bend. So that's one little nitpick that I have that I wish Hot Toys would provide us with. That would be awesome. But moving on, when we reach the hip area, where the leg meets the hip, they can twist and turn about 20 degrees. You can pop them downward, so when he kicks forward, it can go forward about 90 degrees once you have the leg popped out of the hip, which is really good for it being an Iron Man figure. And backward, it can go about 160 degrees when you have the hip popped out. But if you have it popped in, the leg can only kick forward about 40 degrees. But it is really great that Hot Toys decided to make the legs pop out. That way we get better movement. The knees, as I said before, they got double bend, which is really awesome. And then when we go toward the ankles, they got pretty good forward and back movement, and they can swivel side to side pretty good too. And you can also pop them down, so you can get better movement that way also. So as for articulation on this figure, I'm gonna have to give it an 8 out of 10. It's really good articulation for it being an Iron Man figure. Really awesome. So stick with me, guys, and I will continue on with this review. Okay, so we've reached the category of accessories. But before I get into that, I'll explain the pose. I got him in a flight pose. They do provide you with the means of a flight pose this time. They've done it before with other Iron Men, but they decided to do it again. A lot of people don't like the flame effects. Of his flying, but I think it's okay. It could be better, but it's not too bad. So I was just recreating the scene where he uses the missile pods that are coming out of his shoulders right there. So what you get is 8 hands, 2 open palm blasting hands, and 1 pair of articulated hands with the fingers. And 2 closed fists, and the open palm flame effect hands. And then you get something that wasn't mentioned or talked about or anything. We weren't even given a clue that this was going to come with the figure itself, is the battle damaged chest piece. So it's got the fissure where Captain America stabbed his shield to destroy Tony's arc reactor, so he couldn't use his suit anymore. And I gotta tell you that this is another reason why I had to get this figure. I wasn't expecting this. I've never owned an Iron Man with battle damaged pieces. Like I said before, my only Iron Man that I've ever owned were the Mark IV and the Mark III diecast, and none of those came with battle damaged pieces. So I'm glad to finally own one that does have battle damage. No matter how minor, even if it's just a chest piece, it's fine. Then you get 2 forearm missiles, 1 for each arm. Those are his normal covered up shoulder cannons when he's not using them. When he comes out of the box, he's got those on, but these are the open missile pods that come out of his shoulder. But I gotta say that I've been hearing this common problem a lot where people who buy this figure and receive it, and they barely open it out of the package. The magnet that is inside is already off the shoulder, and the magnet is like become unglued from the shoulder piece. That is really cheap, Hot Toys. That should not be happening, especially if we're paying so much for figures like this. This is one of the most expensive figures that they have out there, so that shouldn't be happening. That's a major quality issue. You guys need to like get on that, you know. When I was expecting my figure, I thought that they had fixed these issues, but apparently not. I had to put some crazy glue to fix the problem, but I shouldn't have to be doing that in the first place. Moving on, we get the Tony Stark head sculpt, which is really awesome. 100% likeness to Robert Downey Jr. in the Civil War movie. Hot Toys with their head sculpts is just getting better and better with every figure that comes out. Moving on, we get his collar for his armor for when he's got the unhelmeted head sculpt, the Tony Stark head sculpt. He's got this on his neck. You can see the helmet is folded back on the back of his neck or head. So that's really cool. And then we get this ginormous base. I mean, it's got its ups and its downs with these bases, because they do the bad thing about these bases, they do tend to take up a lot of space. So if you're trying to make room for other figures, this makes it kind of difficult for that. But the upside is that you get an awesome diorama display, such as we have here. It's like a cracked, beaten down road that looks like it's seen some battle from the Avengers. And then another accessory is this piece of steel girder that's fallen from somewhere. It's a loose piece that you can just add on like that. And this whole thing is made of entirely plastic. The steel girder and the rocks. Excellent paint job though. Really nice. I haven't owned a diorama like this, but I have heard and I have seen that this diorama is basically just a ripoff of Thor from the Dark Age and or I'm sorry, Thor from Dark World, and also the 1970s Superman evil version. So, you know, the Hot Toys has to be more original when it comes to their dioramas, because I wouldn't want to have the same diorama from a different figure. If I owned another figure that had the same diorama, I wouldn't want it displayed. So yeah, they need to become more original with things like that. I heard that the Captain America Civil War battling version has a diorama that's a rip-off of an old figure that they had made like years ago. So yeah, they need to become more original and stop being lazy. I mean, all they're really doing is just repainting the same base. And yeah, that shouldn't be happening either. So moving on, we get a whole ton of batteries, as you might have guessed because of all the lights, all the LED lights that are on it. So you get that, and then you get the mini screwdriver and a mini plastic tool to help you like uncover the battery parts. And then you get a pair of plastic tweezers. These have come in handy a lot. I mainly use them because I found it difficult trying to get the shoulder coverings off. So what you do is you just wedge the tweezers underneath this portion here, and it'll pop out the shoulder cover. It makes it really easy because I don't think I could have done it without it. So I do thank Hot Toys for including this tool in there. It was a great idea. And then finally you get the instruction manual. So yeah, that is a good set of accessories. I'll even go so far as to say that it's DX quality of accessories. Really nice. I couldn't think of anything else that they could have added except for what I mentioned earlier about the articulated hands, that I wish they included a pair of hands where you can make them pose with the fingers bent, doing a repulsor blast like that. But you can't do that with these, as I explained already, because of the this portion here on the back of the hand, this piece of armor. It doesn't bend, so you can't get his wrist to move up like that, which kind of sucks, but it's just a nitpick. But yeah, really good job on the accessories. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 10 out of 10. So stick with me, guys, and we will roll on to the last and final category, and then I'll round up the scores from there. Okay, so now we've reached the category of outfit. And I gotta tell you, I love this this suit of armor that Iron Man wore in the Civil War movie. It is supposed to be a type of the bleeding edge armor that Iron Man wears in the comic books. A version of it, I guess you could say. I've always loved that armor, and I'm glad that they put it in a movie. Everything from the lights all over it to the sleekness and smoothness of the look of the armor. I gotta tell you guys that when this figure was announced, I wasn't going to originally get him. I'm not a big Iron Man Hot Toys collector. If you guys have seen most of my videos, you'd know that I only have one other figure of Iron Man. And that is this version over here, which is the Mark III. I've always preferred the classic look of Iron Man, the one we all know with the circular arc reactor on the chest and just the regular red and gold armor. But when I first saw the Captain America Civil War movie, I really loved the armor that they introduced in that one. So when they naturally announced that Hot Toys was gonna make one from the movie, I just thought that, okay, I'm just gonna pass on it because I already have an Iron Man. I don't need another one. But as soon as it was released in Asia and Europe, and I started seeing the videos on it, I immediately fell in love with the figure. The LEDs on all the parts of the body, the sleekness and smoothness, just like I said before, I loved it. The articulation, everything was awesome. And then what put the icing on the cake was that they introduced the Tony Stark head sculpt, which was amazing. Like I told you guys already, 100% accuracy to Robert Downey Jr. The best Tony Stark head sculpt to date. So that I loved. And then they added the battle damaged chest piece. So both of those items, and I was sold. It was like an impulse buy. I was like, okay, I gotta have it. Because I was not planning on getting this. But after seeing how awesome it was, I just had to have it. So as for the outfit, I'm giving that a 10 out of 10. Which brings the possible score to a 54 out of 60. Not bad. The only problems, because it's not a perfect figure. I'm gonna let you guys know that right now. The quality issues that I already mentioned to you guys before on the shoulders, these parts right here, with the magnets falling off, that was kind of an issue for me. I thought they had fixed that, but they didn't. And then the other issue I had with it was installing the batteries. It takes forever to install the batteries. You guys saw how many batteries you need to install. You know, here's all of them right here. So look at all those batteries. You have to put 3 in the head, 3 on each arm, so 6 on both of the arms. Another 3 on the legs, on each leg. So that's 6 on the legs, and then 2 on each shoulder. So that's 4 for the shoulders. That's a lot of batteries, and not to mention that they all have panels that you have to remove and unscrew. So yeah, there could have been a better way to do all that. It's kind of a hassle, but other than that, great figure, you know. Not to mention that it's die cast. I have to say that this figure is probably the heaviest, at least that I've had, for a hot toy, because the legs are all die cast except I think for the knee section right here, and the feet. Those are plastic. So the knees and the feet are plastic, but everything else on the legs is metal, I believe. The ab section is plastic. The crotch section is plastic. The hands are plastic. The forearm section, I believe, is plastic. I think the biceps are die cast. The chest section is plastic. The shoulders are die cast. And I think that's about it for the metal on the figure. So yeah, it's a pretty heavy figure. And in case you guys were wondering who this fellow is in the middle, I already showed you, it is Tony Stark. This is the outfit that he wore during the movie, the scene where he was talking to Team Cap after they were all captured and put into prison. When he was talking to Hawkeye to try and find out the location of Captain America and Winter Soldier, and Falcon ended up telling him where they were. That is actually the outfit. So this is what he looks like from the back. And here is a side profile. The jacket does have a nice leather feel to it. I don't think it's real though. I think it's fake leather or pleather. And then you get the arm sling. Yeah, this is the outfit he wore after the airport battle with Team Captain America. So yeah, really nice. I'm glad I was able to get this outfit. And if you guys want to know where to get this outfit from, it is known as the Tony Stealth set. It's made by Super MC Toys. I got mine from 16 Kit, the website. And I believe they're still available if you guys want to pick one up to complete your casual Tony Stark Civil War version. One thing that's kind of funny is that this clothing set actually comes with a pair of Calvin Klein underwear. So yeah, he's currently wearing that. But that about wraps up this review. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Because who doesn't like Iron Man? Seriously, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.